All right, we're going to talk about outliers and influential points. This is a quick section, but an outlier is observations that just aren't in the cloud. They're outside of the overall pattern. So you have your cloud of points, and then you have this dot that's like lying outside of it. Okay, if they're in the y direction, they have a large residual, and what they'll do is that's far away. It's a large prediction, so it'll actually increase S. It'll increase the standard deviation of the residuals because you have this large residual, okay? Some outliers, these are ones that are outliers in the X direction, are influential because if you removed it, it would create a drastic change in the result of the calculation, whether it's the equation of your line or the correlation coefficient, okay? So points that are outliers in the X direction of the scatter plot are often influential, okay? So if you look here, see this cluster of dots right here? Most of the kids right here, this was their age when they spoke their first word, and then their Gesell adaptive score, which is something that a test that they took later, okay? Most of the kids follow this regression line, all right? And this number, child 19, is an outlier because it lies outside the cloud of data. It's up above. It's going to affect the standard deviation, but it's not really going to move the line much. It's not really going to change much about the graph because it's just in the y direction. Child 18 is an outlier in the x direction. And you can see the blue line was the old, is the regression line if I don't include child 18, and the green line is the slope if I do include child 18. And the correlation coefficient actually gets stronger when you put child 18 in, okay, which is kind of counterintuitive. But let's take a look at this graph here, okay? So this cloud of points, correlation coefficient 0.6373, okay? If I put a dot up here, it didn't really change my line much, okay? You can see the line barely even moved. Okay, I'll take it away again. The line doesn't even move that much. Pulls it up a tiny bit, but not that much, okay? So it doesn't really affect it, but my correlation coefficient went down because obviously it messes up the correlation. Okay, whether I put it here, right, you can see I can move it all around, and you see that it's affecting stuff, affecting my correlation coefficient a little bit, and it's increasing my S quite a bit, but watch what happens if I put it over here in the X direction. Watch how this line just follows my dot wherever I go. See that? See that? And notice, when it was over here, 0.64, if I bring it over here, even though it's off the pattern, it's actually, see how it's like below the line? It's dragging the line down a lot, but it still has about a 0.63, 0.64, okay? And if I go right over here, or even way up here, look at this, 0.87, and look at the line, just follow my dot. Even though it's way off from everything, it's so influential that it's completely changed my slope drastically from this to that, and it's giving the illusion that there's a really strong correlation. This is a B+, an 88. It's crazy, okay? This point is really influential because it's an outlier in the X direction, okay? And even here, that 0.66 seems like a 0.80, even though I'm not changing the slope by much. It is still greatly increasing the correlation coefficient. So you can have outliers, which just lie outside your cloud of points, and you can have so above or below your cloud of points. But as soon as you move out in the X direction, it becomes an influential point. Look, it says there's no correlation just because of this one stupid point, okay? When in reality, there was that relatively strong correlation, okay? So good luck and farewell.